Hello, this is Dr. Pete Butkins. I'm videoing this from Orlando, Florida. The purpose of this video is to educate you and encourage you to get treatment. The treatment for alcoholism and drug addiction is highly successful. The key to treatment with your son or your spouse or yourself is being teachable. It's being able to learn from experts that have been there and surrendering to a way of doing this where you're maximizing the chances for success. When I have problems with my car, I take it to an expert. When I have health problems, I go to an MD. If you have a problem with addiction, you need to go to someone that's understood it, preferably been there, and is successful in their own treatment and really has studied it, has an education in it, is credentialed, and does it because it's important for them to see people be successful and not just for the money. Speaking of money, inpatient's going to cost you 10 to 30 grand a month. Outpatient's going to cost you about $15 to $2,000 a month. At my Freedom Quest, my program in Altamont Springs, Florida, a little bit north of Florida, we charge $1,600 a month. For that, you get 10 to 30 hours of treatment. It depends on how much is needed. We found that inpatient treatment is important if you've got a history of relapse, if your environment is very toxic and you really can't get away from the people that are selling it to you, or you can't walk down the street without craving, if you have a high pregenetic disposition for addiction and your cravings are just so incredibly bad that you really can't do it outpatient, then inpatient can be warranted. Also, if you need detox, inpatient is very important. Detox from alcoholism is the most severe detox. Barbiturates are next. That can be fatal. Most of the other detoxes can be done outpatient. It's best to seek someone, again, an expert in addictions, in order to detox successfully. A lot of times you need an MD who's going to help you detox in a medical fashion, medical detox. Outpatient's important because most people cannot give up the need to control or the desire to control their using, or they can't admit that the problem is severe. You may be able to see it if you're the parent or significant other, the spouse, or the child even, and have a parent that's using. But a lot of times they can't see it until the enablers give up taking care of the person and allow the pain and loss necessary to get sober and clean. Consequences are very, very important. The person needs to know that this is a family disease, and the parents, the spouse, the significant others are no longer willing to subsidize the problem, to support it, to help the person continue in their addiction by paying the rent, helping them with room and board, helping them with school, giving them any kind of financial support, and eventually emotional support. My new book, No Relief for the Family, is on Amazon now, and that gives step-by-step details with a 7-step model on how to detach with love successfully and not feel guilty, and put yourself in a position where they can, detach, but or you can detach, but the person who's using still knows that you love them. The cost of treatment with me again is about $1,600 a month. Inpatient is, it could be $7, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 even some places. Some places charge $50,000. But the idea is, if you don't need inpatient, outpatient is a good way to go. My program again is very cost effective, and this is the rainy day you've been saving for. There's nothing better to spend $1,600 a month on than saving a person's life. If you're paying for their treatment, make sure you have a contract that says they pay you back. The person has to be invested in treatment somewhat. They've got to endorse it and have some ownership over their own treatment. They can't do it just for you. Eventually they have to realize they're going to die if they don't get treatment, and this is why they're doing it. So this is the rainy day you've been saving for. Pay for treatment, don't pay for the disease. Don't pay for the DUI, don't pay for the new car, don't pay for an old car, don't pay for any car. Don't buy that car. pay for something that's going to work, and empower the person to be able to successfully get involved in 12-step programs and find the support and love that they so desperately need. And again, we know you love them, and we know it's a family disease, but uh, anyone who wants to get sober eventually has to do it for themselves. God bless. I hope this has been helpful. My number is 407-786-1913. My Freedom Quest is in Altamont Springs, Florida, and we now have a Department of Children and Families Florida State license to practice intensive outpatient treatment. We have a regular license to do this. And I thank you very much for listening.